Hi, it's me, Daphne, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the few books that I read in July. So July for me was very slumpy. I struggled to just get through books and just turn pages and make time for it. I had a lot going on, but let me tell you about the couple of things that I did end up reading in July. So I've been making my way through Elsie Silver's backlist. I really want to catch up on just all of her books. So a while ago, I went back to her first series, The Gold Rush Ranch, and in July, I continued on with the third book in that series and read The Front Runner. So this is between Mira, who is a veterinarian. She works at the Gold Rush Ranch, and this guy, Stefan, who is in a neighboring ranch and who is a competitor of our main cast of characters when it comes to all the elite horse racing competition stuff. And for whatever reason, and it's really unclear because I had a decent sized gap in between book 2 and book 3, the main character, the main chick from book 1 really hates Stefan. His reputation is really bad, that he's a bad guy. But that was my first issue with this book, is that doesn't really translate in this book. I'm told that he's bad, I'm told that they dislike him, but I don't know really why. It's not explained well at all. The author, Elsie Silvers, doesn't rehash the history and why that should make sense of why people don't like him. I'm just told over and over again. So that was a little frustrating. And I feel you honestly aren't gonna like reading this as a standalone. I mean, you could, but it's just not. There's just such a lack of context, and it's relying so heavily on the things that happen in the first 2 books to explain things to you. And I had such a gap that I was kind of confused, and it was a little annoying. And that lasted for probably 20 to 25% that I was kind of irritated, and I felt I was being told what was happening in the story and not seeing the characters' actions and learning them that way. But I eventually got past that hump, and closer to maybe 30% or so, they start becoming their own people. And the past stuff doesn't matter as much, and they're evolving and things are happening and they're getting to know each other. So anyway, the premise of this is that Stefan has kind of had a crush on Mira for a while. Every time he sees her, because she works as a vet for pretty much everybody, but her main headquarters is at Gold Rush Ranch. So when she's out helping out his horses, he always asks her out on dates, and she just thinks he's joking. She has a bit of a personality where she's very straight-faced and kind of cold, but I think it's just her defense mechanism. She's a bit shy. She kind of acts like she has it all figured out, not in a showy way, but in just a way that she's just cool, calm, collected all the time. But internally, she could be freaking out, And they kind of get into a bargain where Mira needs a favor from him related to the horses on multiple ranches. He asks for 3 dates in return, and she agrees. So it's their romance, and it was really cute by the end, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. The beginning was really rough. I could have given it 2.5 stars in the beginning. Had a fun time with that. And then this book also introduces us to Stefan's sister, who is the heroine in the next book that I read in July, which is A False Start. And our heroine's name is Nadia, and she has a romantic connection with our hero named Griffin. So Nadia, like I said, is the sister of Stefan. She's significantly younger. They're both Eastern European or something. They lived overseas. Their mother was from Canada. They're only half siblings. There's drama with that, but they come to Canada to live here. So she's 19 in the 3rd book, but they do a time jump. She meets the hero Griffin, who's her brother's age. So he's closer to 30. I think he's 31 or something when they meet in a bar. It's Canada, drinking age I think is 18. And he's instantly attracted to her, but he knows she's too young. Then we do a 2-year time jump, and their lives cross again, and it's their age gap romance. And I had such a fun time with it. Griffin is an ex football star. He had an injury. He's also dealing with kind of an alcohol problem. By the start of the book, I was gonna say the movie, by the start of the book, he's not drinking anymore. He's sober, but it's still this heavy drama, this weight that he hasn't fully addressed. So there's drama there. And our girl, you know, she's young, so she's trying to figure herself out. She's like 21 by the start of this one, right? Is that math? Yeah. And she just has a lot of like self-worth problems because her dad like messed her up. She got daddy problems. And the way she is with him is just really interesting because she's not like a sweet, submissive, innocent girl. She's got a bit of a reputation, not maybe a reputation, but like she's very confident around men. She doesn't let Griffin BS her. She's very assertive. And yeah, just seeing their banter and them grow to know each other and him falling in love with her was all very fun, and I would definitely recommend this one. I think this one definitely reads better as a standalone. Overall, I'd say it's ideal to read all the books in the series in the proper order, but I felt like this one, the backstories were better expressed. You didn't need all the context from the other books nearly as much as the third one did, which was a struggle. I ended up giving this one 4.5 stars. Highly, highly enjoyed it. Okay, and then this is where, you know, I don't have much else to talk about. Okay, I read two other things, but they were novellas, and they were both from my favorite girl, Jessica Kane. Not really my favorite girl, she's just like my guilty pleasure. Like, she hits the spot, but it's also ridiculous at the same time. You know, it's very ridiculous. Anyway, I read Their Summer Intern by Jessica Kane. This was a silly fun time. This is an MFM, steamy, smutty novella where this girl, Zoe, is like the stepsister of these guys, Jacob and Bridger. They're much older than her. Again, she's like probably like 18, 19. Her dad married their mom, but her dad's like an F up. He likes gallivanting with other women, and the stepmom is really pissed, but Zoe needs a job, so she asks if she can work in the corporate office that like the stepmother's family owns, and the stepmother's like, of course, but really she like wants to sabotage Zoe for revenge against the dad. There's all this like kind of like this drama, understandably so, with the stepmom. But anyway, the stepbrothers see her for the first time. They've never met her before, and they instantly fall into lust/love with her. And they've never shared a woman before, but for whatever reason, everybody's just on the same page on how this little trio's gonna work. And it was silly, but it was fun. It hit the spot, and I would recommend it out of the Jessica Kane ones. Is there daddy kink in this one? Like a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. I had a great time with it, and I'm leaning over where I'm putting the books again because I'm standing. Whoops. Is it weird because they're brothers? It's weird. But also, like, the brothers don't, like, interact with each other. Like, that would be incestuous. There's no incest, but, like, it's like, making the line fuzzy, and it's making the whole area gray, and it's confusing, but, like, they know they're brothers, and they're like, I'm not here for my brother, like, but, like, kind of they're like, oh, but I like the, like, approval of my brother. You know what I mean? I like to take care of my brother. I think it was done pretty well, considering. And then the last one I read was another Jessica Kane novella, and it was called When You Know. And this one was more unhinged. This was so unhinged. I'd say the premise is more straightforward than other books by Jessica Kane. I ended up giving When You Know 3 stars. So this was between Bobby and Mandy. So Mandy, she's probably like 20 years old. She's probably younger than that, honestly. She's like in her first year of college. She's studying to be a psychologist. She's really smart, so like she's maybe a year younger than the other people in her class. So she could be just 18. Don't really know. And Bobby is probably like late 20s to 30s. He's a fireman. He's hanging out in this bar with his buddies, and Mandy's there, and they have like a run-in, and he's never been really interested in any of the women at the bar. All the girls try to hit on him, but he's just like, nah, I'm not interested, not interested, not interested. But when he spots Mandy, he's like, this is the one, she's mine. Ultra possessive, obsessive, psychotic level intensity with this man, right? And that's like kind of the point. Like, he knows he's a psycho for her, and he doesn't want to do anything about it. He just wants to like be her entire life. So he does that, and it's that story, but like, she knows he's being that way, like after she comes out of the like fog of like being pleasured all the time. She's like, what day is it, you know? And she's like, why do I have a ring on my finger? I've known this guy for like, how long? Has it been like a few days? And I don't know. So she's trying to like escape him a little bit, but also because she recognized as a psychology student that like this is super unhealthy, but at the same time she's like, I kind of enjoy this feeling of being so consumed by him and being obsessed with him and him being obsessed with me and all this stuff. So it's that story. It's so way beyond toxic, but it was like decently entertaining. It was smutty, it was fun, but also it was like, what is wrong with you guys? You guys are messed up. Yeah, he was messed up. He didn't hurt her or anything, but like, God, Jesus. So yeah, I give it 3 stars. And that's all I read in July. So I'm hoping for better luck in August, and hopefully I can get out of this slump, because it's not that fun, and I want to talk to you about fun things, and I want to read the books that are on the shelf you're sitting on with all the books that I want to read, because I didn't do that this past month. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Even though it was super short, I appreciate your time nonetheless. If you did have a good time, please feel free to leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it, and obviously it helps out my channel. And I will catch you in another video. Bye!